Leadership and management, a structural perspective. Having read an enormous number of things about leadership and management, I realized that I'd always had a fond remembrance of Leadership is an Art by Max De Pree. It was just a nice, easy read, and it seemed to make so much sense. Though it seemed to reconnect me all of a sudden with the different things that I read about thinking about leadership and management as sort of alternative purposes or perspectives, and that reconnected me with Charting the Corporate Mind by Charles Hamden Turner, and thinking about the nature of mutually exclusive or perceived to be things which are mutually exclusive, and the real benefit if you can figure out how to integrate them together. And then that took me to Csikszentmihalyi's The Evolving Self, where he figured out how to integrated and differentiated to create complex. And then I thought about Donella Meadows, where she said transcending paradigms was the highest point of potential leverage. And that took me to back to thinking about leadership and management, and thinking about that they were sort of mutually exclusive, and were they really? And here's what I came up with after spending some time thinking about gumdrops and toothpicks. I know, it makes my head hurt too. So if I think about leadership and management as being mutually exclusive alternatives, sort of going in different directions, leadership wants to take the organization in one direction and management wants to take the organization in another. And I think about the story in Covey's The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, where he talks about, the team is hacking its way through the jungle, and management is supporting them by holding hacking drills and sharpening machetes and everything, and they're making progress. And the leader is the person that walks into this hotbed of activity and climbs the tallest tree they can find and surveys the situation and hollers down, "Wrong jungle." And they're just not lined up in terms of what it is that they're intending to do. So I said, all right, if I look at management, we typically think about the org structure, but the org structure is not actually the way that things get done, though typically things do get done by people across different facets of the org structure. So if I turn the org structure sideways and look at management as pushing on the components trying to move it forward, what happens is there is simply a tendency for it to diverge, so that it's spreading out, it's becoming less focused. So management has to apply a lot of effort to try and create alignment to keep things going in the right direction. If I then think about leadership as essentially a pull operation, if it pulls the organization in a direction, it tends to naturally create an alignment of things to follow it. So if suppose that you could actually figure out how to integrate management and leadership together as opposed to being opposed, so that you could create an operation that looked more like this, where leadership is moving the organization forward and management is actually supporting that effort. And I think it creates the kind of thing that Senki talked about in the fifth discipline, in terms of having the organization really aligned in terms of what it's doing, so that management and leadership both have the same intent and they're all going in the same direction. And is this doable? Food for thought. See you in another video soon. Bye.